Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the chair-assisted yoga class. And this week we're focusing on the theme of abundance, which I think is really important, seeing as this Thursday is Thanksgiving. So we're going to go through a gentle opening where we connect inwards with our breath and with our body. And then I'm going to recite the quotes. And then we'll weave them into a nice chair-assisted practice where we're going to focus today on the side body. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting with a nice seat, just notice how you're sitting in your chair. Can you really feel the energy of the feet even on the floor, and feel an energy pulling up through your legs all the way to your hips, and then try to sit up as tall as you can. So notice, are you slouching back a little bit with your pelvis, or can you lift up, even if you have to use your hands? And then we'll start to connect inwards. So in Sanskrit, we have what's called bandhas or locks. They're inner locks. And we start at the pelvic floor. So just engage the muscles that you're sitting on. And we call that mula or root lock, mula bandha. And then above there, but right above that, below the belly button, draw the belly in, and you'll feel a sense of lifting upwards. We call that uddiyana bandha. It means flying upwards. And then at the top of the spine, gently just draw the chin down, and we call that Jalandhara bandha, or the chin lock. And now everything is supporting you from inside. And maybe you can let go of your hands if you can keep that support, or you could keep them there and just start to tune into your breath. So as you inhale, you feel the rib cage expanding. And then as you exhale, you feel the rib cage relax. And just try to find some evenness in this breath, inhaling. And then exhaling, feeling the rib cage relax. And then one more big breath in, and just noticing, can you breathe into the whole rib cage? If it's doable and possible to stay seated upright, take your hands together in prayer position, and we're going to vibrate together with the mantra Om, all the sounds of the universe. And then I'll recite the quotes. So let's go ahead and take a breath in. Om. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Abundance is not something we acquire, it's something we tune into. When you wake up in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Abundance. I think this practice, just breathing, centering, going inwards, and then using the body and moving through the spine really helps us to find the fullness of our life. So, and for me, it helps me to come to a place of calm where I can really appreciate the world around me. My mother is wheelchair bound at this time, and she was feeling really grounded in her wheelchair and pretty miserable about what's going on in her body. And I said, hey Mom, why don't you just try sitting up? And we just did some simple movements. And she said, hey, I forgot that I can do these things. And instantly her low back started feeling better. The pain was better. And the whole attitude was better. So let's go ahead and just start some movement. So feeling the spine really lengthening, let's go ahead and reach down with the arms for a moment. And can you roll your shoulders down away from your ears? And then from here, we're going to take a gentle side bend to the neck. So keeping your neck really lengthened to start. See if you can start with your ear and just drop the ear. And just as you do that, pull the left shoulder away from the left ear. And then from there, you can gently just let the weight of your right hand rest on your head and see if you can get a nice neck stretch, but it's nothing forced. And then slowly let the chin come down towards your right armpit. And notice you're pulling the left shoulder away from your ear, so getting a nice stretch to the side of the neck. And then we'll come back here, and then we'll rise up. We'll do the other side. So lifting up first, gently let the left ear drop down. And then you can take the hand, the left hand, and just let the weight of the hand, you're not pulling with any force, you're just letting the weight of the hand rest on the head, and roll your right shoulder away from your right ear. And then gently just take the chin down to the left armpit. And notice, can you feel a nice stretch to the side of the neck? And then let the head come forward, and slowly letting the head rise up. We're going to do a nice roll down through the spine now. So we're going to round the spine forward. You could take your feet a little wider if you needed to. And just from the top of the spine, you're just going to slowly start to curl down. So you drop the chin. Maybe you can release your hands and let your spine round forward. And just hang here for a moment. And now we're going to start to stack the spine and curl all the way up, coming to a nice stacked spine. Inhale again. We'll do that one more time. Exhale. Use your breath. Pull the belly in. You could hold on if you needed to, or you could let your hands relax down. Just drop your head, pause, and then inhale, using the inhalation to help you to stack the spine. And now we're going to try a seated sun breath. It's like a sun salutation. So I want you to really inhale here and reach way up. So the side body here, you feel from the pinky finger all the way down your hips. If you really lift the shoulders, but roll them away from your ears. So they're rolling outward, away from your ears. And from here, we're going to take a forward fold, but not rounding the back this time. So you exhale, let the arms circle, and you can assist yourself. See if you can keep your spine straight as you come forward, hinging forward. And then let your head fall when you've gotten as far forward as you can with that long spine. And then inhale, lengthen through the spine again, and rise up. Let's reach the arms and let the hands come down. And we'll do that again. So inhale, it's like a sun breath, moving with your breath, getting as much length as you can. Exhale, find a nice lengthened spine as you fold in your hip creases. You could use your hands if you needed to. Just come down as far as you can with a long spine. And then when you've reached your limit, just let your head drop. And then inhale, lengthen again. Maybe you can reach the arms out this time. Reaching and exhaling, hands down. And now we're going to come to a nice side bend. So inhale, we'll start by reaching the arms up. And then let's just, keeping the neck long, we're going to start with the right ear. Just let the ear drop, let the right shoulder drop, let the ribs drop, and come into a side bend. And then when you've gone as far as you can, take your gaze down and take your hand to the side of the chair and see if you can roll the shoulder away from your ear. And maybe you're looking down. We can start looking down and then changing the gaze straight ahead. And if it feels doable or good in your body, you could look up. Just notice this line of energy, side body. Inhale, rise up. We have all these muscles. They're so wonderful. Inhale, reach up. That are in between our rib cage. Each one, they're called intercostal muscles. And we can really get good breathing when we open those up. So lift up and then let the ear fall, right? And then let the left shoulder fall. And then take the ribs over. And then start to side bend, side bend, side bend. See where you can go. And then finally taking the hand down, rolling the shoulder away from the ear, taking your gaze down, reaching from the pinky finger, right pinky finger to the hip, and then straight ahead. And maybe your gaze goes up. And then on an inhalation, rising up. We're going to go ahead and turn and work on the standing postures assisted with the chair. So let's find a lunge here. So in a lunge, the front knee is bent, and try to bend your back knee. and my toes are tucked under. And from here, notice, are you in the low back? Or can you sit up and try to use these under the butt muscles to push this left hip forward. At the same time, we're trying to pull the right hip back. So the legs are active here. Now see if you can keep that sense and straighten your leg and then bend it again. So you should be getting a nice stretch on the hip flexors, which don't get stretched very much when you're sitting in a chair. So we really want to lengthen this out if it's used to being flexed, right? So do it one more time. Really lengthen that. And then we're going to add a side bend to this. So let's let the left arm come up and keep this all activated as you side bend to the right. And just stay here for a moment and notice what's going on. Nice energy, lengthening, and breathe. You could take your gaze up if that felt good, or just gaze straight ahead. And then inhale, rise up. And then from here, we're going to take this into a warrior one pose. So turning your back foot out and putting your foot down, and then turning your ribs. So if you had to have your heel up, that's no problem, but whatever you can do, right? Turn and then inhale. That would just be a modification of warrior one, which is great, but make sure your ribs are facing straight ahead. And then we'll go ahead and take the left arm up and lift up, 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 up. So you feel that side body helps you in back bends. If it was accessible to you and you were balanced, you could take both arms up and lift and lift and lift. And then inhale, we're going to rise up. Let's go ahead and turn out to warrior two. So turning the left foot in and the right foot out. And you're trying your best here to make a right angle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then just reach with the arms. Really long, pulling the belly in and up, and really feeling that length, that warrior two. And then we're going to come into Utthita Parshvakonasana, which is an extended side angle pose. So you can use your forearm on your thigh. Make sure you're rolling your shoulder away from your ear. It's really nice to do this circle and then reach. Make sure you're not collapsing in those rib cages. It's like you're lifting up and turning. Maybe you could take your gaze down the nose and up. Just do what works in your body and breathe. Feel that side body, the pinky finger all the way to the hip. And then we'll inhale, rise up. Let's do everything on the other side. So we start in the lunge with the knee bent. And notice, is your butt back here or can you take it under? And if you do that, we're really going to get the stretch on the hip flexors here, which is, they get real tight from sitting a lot, right? And so once you establish that, keep this muscle activated as you start to straighten and bend a few times. And if you need to slide your foot out, you can do that. Straighten and bend. And just notice what's going on. You're getting a nice stretch. Just go to where it feels good in your body and pause there. And then from here, we're going to go into a nice side stretch. So reach straight up and then inhale, lifting up, exhale, side bend to the left. And really feel this sense of lift in the whole side body, really stretching. It feels really nice, I hope. And inhale, rise up. Now we're going to take it into warrior one. So if it's doable in your knee and in your hip, you take your back foot down. It doesn't matter how much you turn in, just don't be turning out. And you could even have your heel up. So keeping that sense of the tail under, just keep the hips the way they are, but turn the ribs to face forward, and we'll reach the right arm up and lifting. Feel that side body, lift up. Inhale here, you could stay, or maybe you could join with your other hand and lift, breathing, warrior one, tail stays under on that right side. And then inhale, rising up, and we're gonna open to warrior two. So in warrior two, the back foot turns out and the front knee turns out. And then we reach the arms. And the ribs stay facing this way, but we just change our gaze over the left fingertips. So breathe here, inhale and exhale. And then from here, we're going to come into Utthita, which means extended Parshvakonasana, side angle. So you can take your forearm, circle that top arm, reach, And make sure you're not crunched in this shoulder. Really lift out of it as you turn the left ribs to the right and reaching from the right pinky all the way down to the right hip and all the way down to the foot. And maybe you could take your gaze straight ahead, or maybe you want to turn, gazing down the nose and up. And then from here, inhale, rising up. We'll come into a nice goddess pose from here. So just go as far as you feel you can. The further out you go, the more intense. And we're just gonna try and sit up. So notice as your pelvis back here, or maybe you need to use your arms and you use them till you can sit way up and focus on opening the knees out, right? We're opening those inner thighs, getting so many openings. That's what I think of abundance. It's so full and getting the most out of every move, right? And then inhale, reach the arms up if it's doable, if it's in your body, and see if you can lift way up. Maybe you're with one arm. Maybe you're still here, but you're still finding that. And release. And then from here, let's take the feet a little closer together. They can be a little wider than hip width. They could be a little turned out if that feels good in your body. And we're gonna work our way up to standing. So you could use your hands if you wanted. Let's use the hands for the first one so that you can feel you're leaning forward. Feel the weight go in your feet and then to your butt, right? And start to lean forward as you rise up. And we'll try that again, going down. You could use your hands, or maybe you're not, and try one more. And then once we've arrived, we're gonna come into a triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. So we step out, and you could assist with your chair, and you're turning your left foot in and your right foot out. And then from here, we're gonna come into Utthita Trikonasana. So you can put your right hand on the chair. It could be high on the chair. And then with this left arm, let's go ahead and circle and reach up. So in triangle pose, it's here, and you're trying to really pull the right hip back and turn your right ribs and gaze up, down the nose and up, or you could gaze straight ahead. Now we're gonna take this into a side pose, a side stretch pose, by circling this top arm and reaching over the ear. But keep pulling. I'm really working on pulling that right hip back. And just see how light you can get on this right hand. You're barely using it. You're using the muscles in your legs. And then from here, inhale, rise up. We'll go to the other side. So I'm just turning my right foot in, my left foot out. And maybe you're holding onto the chair while you're doing this, that's fine. And then find a place where you can put your hand, and then we're gonna reach up with this right hand and pull. So now I'm pulling the left hips back, and this right hip is turning in, and the legs are long, and I'm really reaching up. And then from here, we're gonna take it into a side body stretch by circling the arm and reaching. Side body. Keep the weight on this hand really light as you can. Light as you can, so you're really using the legs. And then from here, you could gaze up maybe straight ahead. Inhale, using the action of the arm to come up. Now we'll come back down to seated. So I'm just taking my feet in. Use your hands, and we'll slowly come down to seated. And here we are. Now let's go ahead and come into a twist, just a seated twist right where you are. So sit up as tall as you can. We'll start by reaching the arms, inhale, and exhale, start to turn to the right and breathe. Try not to turn your hips too much. Inhale here and exhale, just turn the left ribs to the right. And one more breath. So the ribs are turning, the feet are grounded, turning. And then inhale, come back. Reach the arms up, get that side body really long. Exhale, turning to the left. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, turning the right ribs to the left. Just notice how that feels in the spine, in the obliques, these muscles that turn you, internal and external obliques. And then inhale, coming back up. And exhale, let the arms come down. Now let's go ahead and cross the right ankle over the left knee. It's a nice hip stretch. And sit up as tall as you can and try and open that knee out. Just do the best you can here. Maybe it's doable for you to come forward. It intensifies the stretch quite a bit. Or maybe you're staying here and you're just really working on opening that knee. Inhale here. Let's exhale, take a little twist. So maybe you could take your hand towards the ankle of the front foot and just turn. Just notice how that feels, that twist, another nice twist. And then inhale, we'll come back to the center and we'll do the other side. So let the left ankle come over the right knee and just take a moment and sit up, trying to open that knee out. Inhale here, exhale. Maybe you can come forward. Maybe you can take your hands. They're all options, whatever works in your body. And then inhale, rising up. We're going to do one more twist. So take your hand by your ankle and start to turn. Encouraging this knee to open the whole time. Just turning the left ribs to the right. Breathing. And then inhale, come back to the center. Let's go ahead and take the feet out in front of you. We're going to come into a forward bend. Just see how it feels now. Come to the edge of your seat. Using your hands, lengthen your low back. Come as far forward as you can and straighten your legs as best you can. If they need to be a little bent, no problem. And then once you've gone as far as you can with your spine lengthened, just drop the head down. And if it's doable and you have the flexibility, you might be able to just drop your hands down too. And maybe you can reach. Breathing. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Maybe you could do this. Maybe you're holding on. Rise up. And we come to seated. And let's just take a moment to notice where we are in our bodies after this yoga practice. Feel the abundance, the ease, and the joy of everything going on inside you. And stay in that sense of abundance in whatever you do. Namaste.